Good Thursday evening. I took my Baja out and run it. And I got it hooked up to the computer because I forgot to turn reverse on from where it had disc brakes on it. It has no brakes, so I couldn't get going too fast. So just hang with me till after the intro and I'll tell you all about it.
Let's get started.
So here's my Baja on the cart. I've got it hooked up to the computer as we speak. And I'm changing, I'm making it bi-directional so it'll have reverse. I'm turning on the brakes, so there's brakes in the ESC, and just going in and making a couple other little changes here and there to get it to perform better. This is the spur gear. It blowed. I had a stock spur gear on it, and it's supposed to have 4 little tabs. Well, it ripped 3 of them off, and somebody had put super glue or the hot glue trick in the spur, and it tore it up. So I believe I've got it all put back together. I went in the computer and I changed a couple little settings to see. First of all, I turned on all the battery monitoring, so we're going to see what all that does. I turned on the engine temperature sensor because I realized there was one. It just wasn't attached to the motor. And turned the brakes on, turned reverse on, so I'm going to try all that right now. So here it is sitting on the cart. All back together. I'm not going to put the body back on it to test everything, but I'll be running it and then bringing it in and hooking it up to the computer and seeing what everything says. And I'm going to take some video running it. I did change to a 51 tooth metal spur, and I put the 18 tooth pinion back on. I didn't have a smaller pinion. That 5118 is quite a bit higher gearing than the 5718. So let's look at what the app says the 5118 will do. Here it is, a lot higher geared at 130 miles an hour top speed is what the app says. Here's Charlotte checking everything out. So with gearing that much higher, I'm not really worried about it. If I had some cheaper stuff, I might, but with this MGM 400 amp ESC and this LMT, I'm not worried about that difference in gearing. It's not even going to know it. So let's get to some driving. Before we get to driving, if you haven't had a chance to like, share, subscribe, please do that. It is completely free. It does not cost anything. It helps the channel immensely and keeps us, it's like fuel. It keeps us making videos. So if you are subscribed, thank you very much. And leave a comment, leave a like, share, and let's let this thing rip. Now this does have the stock 57 plastic spur on it and no brakes. I forgot to turn them on, so I can't get on it too hard. But this is the first time I run it. Going back and watching this video now, I realized that spur gear had broke very early and was continuing to break. And there were some settings for the disc brakes and the extended buggy that I had set up for top speed that were making it almost like it was cogging, but it wasn't cogging. So I fixed all that by the second run. That noise right there was a spur gear completely busting internally, and it rolled to a stop. And I brought it in, I hooked it up to the computer, changed everything in the ESC, put a steel spur gear on it that was smaller, and took it back outside without the body on it, and this is what happened. I hooked it up and still didn't fix the brakes. So it has no brakes. Try to remember, I don't have any brakes. Which, I did turn the brakes on, but they're at like 20% and the car's too heavy and moves too fast. It doesn't even know that they're on. I'm gonna have to find a much, much larger spot. This is just in my yard, which this is on the wide angle. And that's how that ended. I didn't have any brakes. I hit the tripod. So I brought it in, I plugged it up to the computer, I fixed the brakes, and I downloaded the data log, and look at this. So basically it's 57,000 RPM. And if you go back and you pause it on that graph and you look at it, you can see the peak amps, the RPM, the requested percentage throttle, the output power percentage. I only had a couple things on that graph turned on, so it wasn't all crazy looking. And it was zoomed in on that one particular pull. So there's definitely a lot of information. And like the way you can control that ESC, it is literally a two-speed. Like you can control the rate of acceleration and the time it accelerates, right? So you can control the time of the acceleration, and then you can control the rate of acceleration in that time. And then at a certain RPM, you can switch to a different control that you can have another rate of acceleration and the time of the acceleration set. So like if you wanted to come out kind of, easy and you get the tires going pretty good for a little ways and then turn it on, then you can actually control like how fast it goes up to a certain point and then how fast it goes from that point up to the next point, because you're already moving faster, so your acceleration rate can be greater. There's a lot of stuff in there. This CSC has an acceleration timer, kinda. Like when I pull the trigger, it's set right now to take 2.5 seconds to get to wide open, which with this much power, that's not a lot of time. So like you see the video, you can't even tell that there's that gradual in there. Now I can pull it slower, and as I pull it faster, if I get faster than the gradual, then it'll slow down. But like I can set it to where if I have limited traction, it'll come out and it'll, accelerate at a certain set speed. I think we're getting pretty close to the end of the video on this one. Here's the buggy sitting here. Put the body back on it. Everything's good. Charge the batteries up and take it back out. I'm going to take it to a little better place next time. Maybe have a couple people join us. So, hey, check this out real quick. This is really something you need to pay attention to when you're dealing with these high voltage 12S, 15S, 14S. So watch this. See that light on? So I'm going to unplug both batteries. You see the light on? I'm going to turn on the ESC, which comes on. See the light on still? It just went off. That's how long this thing will run without any batteries hooked to it. So be careful if they're not discharged the capacitors. That thing snaps, boy, it'll wake you up. Like, that is a loud pop when that thing, pow. So yeah, I think that's it. If you haven't had a chance to like or subscribe, share, please do all three. Comment below. Let us know how we're doing. Let me know how I'm doing since I'm the only one. I'm messing with this junk. And, if you got a fast Baja and you think you want this smoke, let me know. See y'all later.